Hello everyone, welcome to my live stream. I am getting the last item out for my lucky dip. I thought it was a 15:30 on my phone. I was like, let's just start. I'm almost there. Okay, so what it is the credit color black chalk pencil. These will just go right in the middle of me preparing. Just start the stream. I'm actually not sure if I have this item, so if I don't, I'll just, maybe I will use a charcoal pencil, because that'll probably be close enough. I don't even remember what it's supposed to look like. Let me do a little Google search and see. Credit color black chalk pencil. I thought it wouldn't take this long. Whatever. I thought I'd just flip it open. Oh, okay. I remember this one. It might actually not be in here. It might be in my roll from school. So let me put this back and get that roll out. Yeah, here we go. So it might be in here. If it's not in there, we'll just skip it, or maybe we'll pick a... In here? Yeah, in here? Oh, I don't see it. What's this one? I think I'll just use this, because I don't see... There is some credit color stuff in here, but this is graphite. And I recognized the picture when I Googled it, but I do not see it among my stuff, so we'll just go ahead and use this for time's sake. Yeah, it's probably close enough. I might have given it away when I cleaned out my art supplies at the beginning of last year. Or it might be somewhere else and I don't remember that I put it there, but I'm not going to spend all day looking for it. I guess I will do one more flip through since it's open. One more flip through of this container, but yeah, there's not even anything in that one. These are colored pencils. Graphite, watercolor. This is water. Actually, this might be just a black. Anyway, this is definitely not it. Sketch wash. These are all color. Yes, this is not it. This is not it. I do recognize the picture, but I seem to not have it, so. Yep, we'll just use this little, it's like a charcoal pencil. And you pull this. It's really fun. You pull this down and then you unravel the paper. So that's why this is so long. Not because I need it this long, but because it's really fun to pull this off and to unravel the paper to expose more of it. We'll just use that. That's close enough. It's been used so much that I can't even tell what the name is. I'll try to look it up real quick. Anyway, let me introduce the rest of this stuff. And also introduce this concept. So for my lucky dips, I have a spreadsheet with all my random art supplies. It's over 300 items. And then I just use random.org to take 4 numbers, and then those are the 4 items or groups of items that I use. So the first thing I pulled today was this watercolor paint. It's the it's one of those hard to pronounce ones. I think it's naphthol, red bluish color watercolor paint tube. So I've got water, my palette, and then I'll get a paintbrush out in a second. So that's why I chose this sketchbook. I did not get myself a heavier weight watercolor sketchbook, so even though I didn't want to use this one again after last week, I was gonna have to use it. So the paper was like pilling when I was watercoloring on it, but we'll just deal with it. And then to replace the credit color black chalk pencil, I think this one is from General's Pencil Company. So let me look. General's. I'm not sure what you'd call this. I mean, it's charcoal charcoal pencil. Just see if I can find it. Find what the actual name of this item is. These are just regular ones. I need one of those ones that unwraps. Oh, here we go. Peel and Sketch. That's what it's called. Here's the listing on Amazon. There you go. They come in a little 3-pack. Peel and Sketch. That's what it's called. So I'll leave that up so that I can correct this. So that when I flip to it in the future, I'll be like, oh, that's what I used. So, yeah, these are so fun. I love these. And then the next thing I got, this is also super fun. It's a multicolored, so I have this little protective cap on it, but it's a multicolored, it's like a rainbow colored pencil. So look at that tip. It's got a rainbow of colors in it, all in one lead. So there you can see on the end all the colors. I'm so excited about this. It's interesting. It doesn't have any brand on it, but when I put it in the spreadsheet, I put the brand. It's Be Goody. So I'm super excited to use this. I've never actually used it. Like, I don't think I've used it even to test it because the tip is just so perfect. So this is going to be super fun. The first time ever using this one. And then these ones I also have never used. So this is really exciting too. It's the Onyx brand newspaper color pencil set. So it says made with recycled newspaper. Then it had more about it when on the sheet I got with it. But anyway, it's a whole set of 12 colored pencils made with newspaper. So that's really cool. I've never used it before. So lots and lots of color. One watercolor tube, a multicolor single pencil, and then a whole set of colored pencils plus the black charcoal. Okay, so let me just set my phone there. And oh, hey everybody! Wolf and Exie are here. How are you? Great to see you. I was so excited about my tools. I was not looking at the chat at all. Thank you for joining me. How are you? Gonna update this listing here. I hope I remember when I'm done streaming to just take this black chalk pencil off of my list because I don't seem to have it anymore. So, oh yeah, this is Generals. I'm replacing it with Generals Peel and Sketch Charcoal. That's what it's called. Peel and Sketch Charcoal. There. Awesome. Yeah, I really gotta sit down and get myself a new watercolor sketchbook. But since there's only the one color, I think I might be able to make this work better this time. As these ones, you know, I'm doing so many colors from last time and the paper was just pilling and peeling. So hopefully that won't happen this time. But we'll see. We'll see how it works. Oh yeah, I need a brush for my watercolor. I'll just get this nice big one that I used last time, I think. I love this one. It has a really comfy handle. Okay, let me. So let's see. First, we shall put this list of items in the sketchbook. Something I do like about this sketchbook is that since it's got this, I forgot what kind of binding this is called, but my left-handedness is not a problem because it's nice and flat. It lays flat no matter what page you put it on. So that is something that's nice about this one. It's not terrible. All right, so let's do, the first thing is the watercolor tube. Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad to hear it. As always. Exie says, I'm doing all right. Thank you for asking. You're so welcome. Exie says, how are you doing? I'm doing all right. I think I might be getting a cold, which kind of sucks. I've been so tired all day today. I couldn't sleep very well last night, so that might be it. But my husband's having a mild cold situation going on, and so I'm like, oh no. I probably just got his cold. But it's all right because it's live streaming, so I won't give it to you guys. You're safe. You're safe. Even if I'm infected, you're all safe over wherever you are. Okay, let's try this Rembrandt paint first. And I hope Wolf is doing all right too. Wolf, hello. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, how would that go? Actually says, today I came as space scavenger. Haha. Yeah, from the game yesterday. How did that go? Was it fun? Did you find out what other stuff you can do? Like what other, I don't know if you call it a class, like class or jobs. Did you get any sleep, or was it so fun that you've been up ever since the stream yesterday? I've done that before with a super awesome game that I've been looking forward to. We'll put in the mask. Corona mask. Corona mask emote. Yeah. Don't worry, you're safe. Totally safe. Even if I'm not safe. Now I'm probably fine. My husband took a COVID test, so he doesn't have COVID, so I probably don't have COVID. I'm one of the people who still wears a mask and stuff when I'm around strangers, so I think that if I have anything, it's probably not going to be that bad, because I'm not exposed to anything very much, so. Plus, it could just be really bad allergies, like, who knows? So I'm really having fun putting this one color. This is like my favorite color of red. So I'm just spreading out a blob. Let's see what it's like when I put the water down first and then I put some in it and let it organically spread. So wet on wet technique is what that's called, because the paper is wet and then you put the wet paint on top of it. So I'm going to make a square of wet paper. Just put the water. I mean, there's a tiny bit of pigment because there's just already so much in the water. Then we just take a little bit from the palette and I'll start in the corner and tap it. And then we'll just let it do its thing and let it naturally spread. Oh, really? That's so interesting. Actually says it's so fun and slow because I'm only able to walk, cannot run because of everything I carry. That's so cool. So that's like a game mechanic that since you're carrying, like, if you dropped all your stuff, you'd be able to run. Is that the kind of thing that would happen in the game? That is such a cool... That's such a cool thing to have to think about. Like, I mean, that sounds kind of weird, like such a mundane thing, but actually I've been thinking about that a lot, that I would love to have that kind of more realistic considerations in games, like, and you have to, it's like like some sort of mental management thing, like, okay, if I am carrying 200 pounds of stuff, I can't run, or whatever. Yeah, that's what I have noticed. Wolf says, nice, it's been going around a bit more again. Yep, I meet with a counselor every month, and my counselor finally caught the coronavirus. So, like, after all these years, she finally got it, and so she had to cancel her appointment and reschedule it. So, and then there's just been other people around me also just getting it. But it makes sense because this is usually around the start of, like, the influenza season, too. It feels like. Of course, I'm no expert. I'm not a doctor, but I feel like the closer we get to the holidays, the closer we get to the cold and flu season. Interesting. Actually says, yeah, rather I drop everything or earn money to have better ships. So, like, have you been able to, like, sell stuff like you said? Like you go scavenge stuff and then you go sell it, and then you're like getting better equipment so that you can carry more stuff and go faster. That sounds so fun. Like, regardless of any other story elements, it sounds like just a really fun like I don't know, like a management resource management or whatever. I love that kind of stuff. It's because I love planning and organizing, so it's like that's just right up my alley. Okay, so I'm just doing a little test strip with the charcoal. It's pretty standard. It's a nice middle of the road between hardness and boldness for the charcoal, because charcoal has a similar grading system to graphite. So this one is nice and it's in the middle. It even says medium right here. So you can get a really nice dark bit without too much little extra flecks of charcoal going everywhere. And that's the reason why I don't really like charcoal very much. Because if you want to get the really, really dark and fast charcoal, there's just going to be powder everywhere falling off of the pencil or off of the block or whatever you're using. But this one is not too bad. Not too bad. You could also use your finger or a blending tool or something to blend it, but I'm not going to worry about that because it's just like a whole extra thing when I already have so many things to use. Wow, is that good for a first night? How long did you play? I have plus 50,000 units thanks to selling junk I found in abandoned bases, says Exy. That's so cool. That's just waiting for you to go get it. Ah, it's like Rey. I just realized it's like Rey in the Star Wars #7. And that was her job, is that she just goes and salvages the stuff out of the Imperial Star Destroyers or whatever. Wow, dang, dude. So cool. Also, wow. That's longer than working. Okay, verse 6 says, as far as things I saw on character creation menu, you could be anything from a professor to bounty hunter, chef to gangster. That's so fun. Man, that's a lot of thought to put into a game to develop all those different jobs. And then next he says, I played 11.5 hours. That's so cool. I love it. Exy says, yeah, pretty much I'm her without magical powers. Awesome. I love that. I'm imagining and seeing the scene where we first see her. And she's got those goggles on and you're not sure who is this person or whatever. Pulling out stuff and selling it for like nothing. Like she was like making nothing. Being a... How's it for you in the game? Is it more lucrative than it was for Rey? Rey was getting ripped off. They made that clear. So I'm just turning this pencil as I use it to like see what it's like, and I turn it a little bit, what color combinations come out. Let's do a line where I don't turn it and it just wears down. What happens? It's cool, no matter what. Even a single stroke of this pencil has multiple colors in it. It's perfect because Pride Day is coming here in my town pretty soon, so it's cool to have the rainbow pencil. Oh, it's so pretty! I love this pencil. So this is still drying. I think I prefer... So this is with the letting it spread on wet technique, letting the paint spread out. And so of course it's watered down a little bit, but I really like this velvety. I'm gonna hold it up closer so maybe you can see how lovely it is. I'm not sure if that focused. Oh, there we go. It's just like, it's like red carpet color. You know, like Hollywood red carpet. Ah, it's so nice. I got to think about what I want to do with it. Right? It's so nice. Exy says, love the shade of red. It's so vibrant. It's so nice. I wonder what this naphthol red bluish. Hopefully it is non-toxic, but I'll just be careful. I'm not actually sure. Because usually these ones with funny names like naphthol is because it comes from a toxic like mineral. I did not look it up. I'll just make sure to wash my hands before I eat or drink anything. Well, I mean, I'll take a drink out of my water bottle that's filled with tea today, but I just won't touch the spout. I'll just take a drink right now, actually. Yummy. It's peach tea. Okay. Time to test out these interesting... Oh, it's so cool. I've never even taken these out before. So these are made with newspaper, recycled newspaper for the body to hold the core with the actual color in it. So like you can see, hold on, I'll hold it up once I get them all out of this. There's one still in here. There we go. So look at, you can see the newspaper, like, oh, I'm not holding it so you can see. There. Focus up here, please, camera. Focus on the clothing on my hand. Thank you. Okay. It's like those marks right there is because it's like newspaper wrapped all around over and over and over and over and over. So the whole thing is encased in newspaper rather than... This one really shows it. Rather than being encased in wood. So that's really cool because it's like recycling... Not chopping up any trees for these pencils. A little crumb on here. So, wow, look at all these. I don't... Ooh, I know. I'm going to try this. So this is a white colored pencil. Let's try it on top of the paint. It's not terribly opaque, but you can tell a difference. It's definitely showing up more than it would if I put it on the white paper. So that's good to know that I can... Oh, it's picking up the paint too on the tip of this. Interesting. Let's try the rest of the colors. So we've got a black, looks like. It doesn't have the color printed on here, just the name of the brand. Probably won't be able to tell the difference between the black and the charcoal too much. Although, the charcoal definitely goes to a deeper black easier. This is not too... It's not too pigmented. And then here's purple. Or maybe violet. Oh, that's cute. Look. So since I was using this, I didn't notice. It's in black, but that was black. This one's in purple, and it's purple. So even though you can't see the name, you can still see the print on the name of the brand reflects the color. Oh yeah, here too on the white one. I just didn't notice. Cool. So I'm trying to use them darker to lighter. So here's a blue. That's a pretty nice blue. Here's a dark green. I've never really used colored pencils on this paper before, so maybe it's just the paper, but I feel like these colored pencils have a little bit more wax than I prefer. I'm used to using the Prismacolor colored pencils, and they've got a really nice amount of pigment to wax compared to the wax. Still not bad. It's pretty vibrant. I just have to work a little harder than I'd like to. There's brown. Man, I don't know what is shaking. Something is shaking and going boom, 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 boom every time I color, and it's driving me crazy. What is it? What is it? What is shaking? I'm just gonna have to live with it. Can't figure it out. Here's a light blue. It's me. Well, if you're the one shaking and making that boop, 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 boop noise. Let's do the green. There's a light green. Oh, man. I don't know what the sound is. Oh, I know what it is. Let me try. Ah, thank goodness. It was my lamps. I have 2 lamps like this, gooseneck lamps, and they were touching. And they were going beep, 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 beep. So I pulled them apart. Figured it out. Okay. Let's see. I think there's 2 more. This pink. This is a pretty nice collection of colored pencils for if you just wanted to like do a coloring book or something. This newspaper set is not bad for something like that. And then yellow. I think that's all the colors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 2, 4, 6, 8. Oh, right, and then white is on here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and then 12. Okay, nice. We have tried all of the items. Oh, I need to get out my reference book so that I can draw another interesting swordsman pose or something. I'm gonna do what I did last weekend, do a little zoom in. But we are on this picture now. Let's see, I'm gonna clip these. So this will hold it upside down. And my other clippy. How are we on time? We've got half an hour. Man, I even feel like my voice is a little gravelly compared to normal. Maybe it's just only noticeable to me, but I don't want to be sick though. I want to do stuff. I was so happy I got my next Patreon reward out, and I wanted to start working on the next big illustration project, which I'm thinking I want to do my autumn griffin because it's just about to be autumn. So I can, if I can finish it fairly quickly, I could get that sent out before autumn is over, and that would be so good. But if I feel this tired tomorrow, I think I'm gonna have to take a little bit of time off and just rest. So I think what I'm gonna do is just put but I don't know how. Okay, hold on. Is this dry? Thinking about how am I gonna do this. So I've got watercolor and colored pencils. Watercolor, oh, but that would be cool. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna try something. So wax is resistant to water. So if I put the watercolor on top of the colored pencils, in theory, it will just color the paper underneath, especially if it's thin enough. So let's just try. Let's just see what happens if I paint over half of these colors. Yeah, it's definitely, some of these it's like springing backwards off of the wax from the colored pencils. But it does cover them up, and this pink one just disappears. It just totally disappears. Ooh, this green one is really cool, though. Oh, and the blue. Oh, if I had more time, I could come up with some really cool-looking things, because it almost looks... I'm going to hold it up so that maybe you can see. It's almost got like a... Come on, camera. Work with me here. Thank you. So the green and the light green and the light blue in particular have like a highlighter or some sort of like neon. It looks like a neon shining through the red paint. But like this pink just totally disappears. The yellow sort of got that highlight thing. But then these darker colors with the red paint on top, they just look like darker versions of themselves. So what I'm considering is just covering like the whole sheet in red, Or maybe like do a diagonal like red, like maybe get this really dark red over here and then bring it over and then it fades off. I think I'll do that. We'll see. Because I don't have too much time to be messing around, so let's just do it. The whole thing is about experimentation, so let's just try something. Something unique and untested. I'm just going to now add water, not any more pigment, and keep bringing it down. If you're hearing snoring, that's Aoife. My big dog Aoife is snoring now. Yeah, I gotta remember to use the charcoal too. I'm thinking about how all these colors are gonna work together, and then I've got this charcoal to deal with. Add more pigment to the top. I've got this whole big blop, may as well. Big blop of color. Okay, I'm gonna have to fan this off to get it to dry. So one thing that sucks about getting water-based materials on these Lucky Dips, because it necessitates some drying time in order to use it. Yeah, and that's about the limit of the paper. It's starting to pill again. I guess it's because I'm used to using a lot of water in my work. I do not do like light washes. Like I always just put a big thick thing of color, make the paper so wet that I have to wait like hours for it to dry before I put more stuff on it. That's how I like to work. As for texture, I'm patting the brush around. Get some interesting spots. And then we can like pull some color off by this patting technique as well. As long as you don't pat it back on the paper, pat it on the paper towel. Clean out the brush. Ooh, I know what will help dry it, and it'll give it even more interesting texture. I'll use the paper towel to blot the paper as well. That might actually help preserve the paper if I did that. Well, this is going to have to be like Bob Ross invention. You went ahead and pre-coated in titanium white for time. Yeah. Because a painting takes... And people complain that they don't like watercolor because it dries so fast. I'm like, what? It takes forever. No, it definitely dries fast. If you're used to oil paints, for instance, oil paints take months. Depending on the application, it takes months to dry all the way. It could take years if you do a really, really thick application of oil. And then acrylic is sort of in the middle, generally. Dries a lot faster than oil, but still slower than watercolor. So For anyone who starts with either of those and then goes to watercolor, I totally understand why. They'd be like, it just dries so fast, I can't do anything. Okay, now there's all this pigment on here. I'm going to flip my towel to try to rein it in so that I'm not getting more on. Although I think I'm done with my brush anyway. So I patted it dry. Now I'm just going to fan it to get that last little bit of dampness. So again, since the wax and the water don't work well together, so the colored pencils are made with wax, I definitely need this to be dry and not damp, so yeah, it's still quite damp. This is definitely going to be interesting. I guess while I'm fanning, this is going to be, I was going to say, this is going to be an interesting combination of colors. Oh, it looks even cooler on the camera. So I'm looking at it on my screen over here instead of with my naked eye. It looks cooler on the camera than it does in person. In person, it just looks like looks like what it is, some blotted watercolor. But it has a nicer, the gradient looks nicer on the video for some reason. Yeah. Wolf says oil takes so long. Have you used oil before? I had to use it in some of my classes for my degree, and I was not very fond of it. I also don't like how you have to be very careful about fire hazards and things with it, and I just don't like that. I like my art supplies to be relatively safe. Watercolor doesn't have the risk of, like, for instance, we had a special disposal. It was just like a metal can to dispose our towels, like the towel that I'm using here, but for the oil, because apparently in the past a fire had started just from all the oil and the oil paints in the towels, and then the amount of towels from so many, hundreds of students. A fire had just started because of the weight of it or something, or because there was so much in it. I don't know, but anyway, you were not allowed to throw it away in a regular trash can. You had to throw it away in this special fireproof trash can. Like, what? Why are we using materials that are so dangerous? You had to use a special sink to wash your brushes out and all this stuff. Oh, interesting. Oh, okay. Well, it says, I used a little one and X was learning to paint with oils. Never really been much for painting. Too many people are beating the devil out of their brushes. So funny. Oh, man. I remember, I don't know if they still do it, but Twitch used to do a Bob Ross marathon where they'd just play Bob Ross, old Bob Ross episodes. I think the story of Bob Ross is actually really heartwarming. I read that he used to be a military drill instructor, and so he basically had to yell at people for a living, and so that's why when he was done doing that and went to started doing his painting classes or whatever. It was like he would never raise his voice again because he didn't want to deal with that. And I think that is very sweet. I like that a lot. My heart was warmed by that when I read about that. They still do. Beat the devil out of their brushes. Is that what you're replying to, Lexi? Him and his cute squirrels. Wolf. That's what Wolf says. Him and his cute squirrels. He had the pet squirrel, right? That's what that was? I can't remember. I'm not like a Bob Ross expert. I would mostly just watch it whenever it was on public television. It just happened to be on, But I know enough. And I read his Wikipedia page and stuff. Okay, so the paper's really curled up, which is actually a good sign for the dryness. Still a bit damp though, so I'm sorry I'm gonna have to keep talking at you and waving this fan around. Hopefully it won't take much longer. How are we on time? Got about 20 minutes left, so hopefully this won't take much longer. Let's see. I guess the best thing I want to focus on in this picture, I think I'll draw his face, maybe a close-up of his eyes, although it's kind of hard to see, so maybe I'll just try to fit the face in as well as I can. One of the people I went to the Inktober retreat with last year had a cool magnifying lamp, so it like lit up the picture and it magnified it so she could do really teeny tiny fine details. And now I feel like I had that, so that if I had that, that would be cool, because then I could see this face much closer to do some details. Because I would do the hand again, but it's like covered by this sword, and it's just kind of an awkward thing to isolate out of everything else. So that's what I'm thinking. The face will be a nice area to zoom in on for this one. Take another sip of tea. All right. Okay, I think that's good enough. So let me just hang this fan back up. And now that it's relatively dry, I'm going to use my little swipey brush and try to swipe some of these paper bits that pilled up from the using so much water. Try to get those out of the way. Oh, good. And that cleaned up quite nicely. You can still see a little bit, here and there, but yeah, not bad. Okay, so let's do, oh, what should go on top of what? I think the waxy colored pencils should go next, because I feel like the chalk, or well, it's not chalk, it's charcoal. I feel like the charcoal will go better on top of colored pencil rather than colored pencil on the chalk for some reason. I can't say exactly why, but I just have that instinct. feel like that will be how it goes. So, drawing this upside down, starting with the nose. I feel like I'm back in my human presence drawing class. We did stuff like this all the time. We did some really intense drawing activities in that class. We had to draw 50 of each main body part. So like 50 hands, 50 feet, 50 faces, 50 torsos, 50, and then we had to draw 50 eyes, 50 ears. I go into those details and whew. I mean, it's good practice, but it was a kind of a lot of work. I watched a lot of Sherlock during that time. Make the time go by. Show that I love and know by heart, so I can just listen to it. Okay. Get these eyes. And the eyes are really hard because they're kind of shaded, so it's hard to see the details, but I think I can mostly get them. Yeah, this one is so shaded from just the way the light is hitting them. I think that's good though. You can't really see this person's eyebrows because the hair is covering it up. So I'll just draw the hair. Got about 15 minutes, so I'll try to keep my eye on the clock. Manage my time. And the edge of the hair comes right to about the outside corner of his eye. And then here, you can't really tell the difference between the shadow and the hair, but I'll just use my imagination a little bit. Okay. Oh, I know. As I use each of these pencils, I'm going to put them away. And that way I'll know which ones I've used. Okay. Next, let's use the purple. Let's do some shadows with the purple. Since I don't have much time, I'm going to do kind of rough kind of sketchy shading and stuff. Let's see. This part, and then you can barely see the mouth, so just a little small indication I'll do because it's almost off the edge of the page. Nice, these are going on top of the watercolor really nicely, especially considering I'm doing a really rough, sketchy version, but they're laying down really nicely even though there's already pigment on the paper. Okay, purple used. Yes, I shall use every color, even if it doesn't really show up. So what, let's use little, what is this, orange? And the shadow on the cheek. I'm gonna use orange. Let's bring this shadow from the nose down. And then this side of the face, so this side is much more shaded than this, the side that's further from the viewer. Okay, orange used. And the first one I used was the dark blue. Okay, dark green. Mixing it in the hair with the purple. Okay, green used. Ooh, what's the next darkest color? Well, there's black. There's actual black colored pencil, so I guess I'll put that in the hair too. And some in the eyes. So we also have the black charcoal, so it's two different options. Oh, and then the nostril for sure. Okay, use the black one. Here's let's do red, although red it's not going to really show up very well. So it's got to red. Instead of doing shading, I'll use it as a line so that it really shows up on the red watercolor. There. Ooh, use brown next. And pink. This one's also really gonna fade in, so, well, I'll just use it on the cheeks. Oh yeah, it's totally invisible. You can't see it at all. Oh well, there's video footage, a video record. I did use it. Here's a light blue. Let's see, where do I want to put this light blue? Maybe on this shadow, on this eye. Do the same thing on this eye too. Same side. And then the same side of the nose. And we have this rainbow colored pencil too. What am I gonna do with the rainbow? Ah! Taste the rainbow. No, I won't taste it. Skittles. Skittles. Mmm. Oh. Aoife's having a dream. She's going, rrr. Do some on the outside of the face. Oh yeah, this green has that nice, like, I don't know, it interacts really nicely with the red paint. Okay, 2 more of this set. And then there's the rainbow colored pencil. What am I gonna do with the rainbow? Okay, and this white one I'm going to, it's not gonna make too much of a difference, but I'm gonna use it, the tip of the nose is a very bright highlight on there. Just reflecting a lot of light. There's a few other areas too, like right above this eye. Maybe along the bridge of the nose. Yeah, it really doesn't make too much of a difference, sadly, but put it on there. At least it's on the paper. Okay, there. I used it. I used it. That's what's important. 5 minutes. Rainbow pencil. What am I gonna do with you? It's hard because there's already a rainbow color. Oh, this is much more, much less waxy. The color comes off really easy. I'm using it in the eyes, I guess. Nice. Neat. Wow, since it's seems to have a different how can I say this? It has like a different profile, or the wax content makes it look different from the other colored pencils, not just because of the color. So it's nice because I feel like it still stands out even though I use colored pencils all over this whole thing. Okay, so I'm done with that one. Just a few minutes to go. Now let's add charcoal on top. Said I wasn't going to worry about it, but I think I will use my paper towel right there to spread this charcoal out smoothly out from the face. Let's try it. Try not to use a wet part. Oh, try to use a dry part. Oh yeah, nice. Ooh, it looks really nice on the red paint, this black. Man, I feel like this is a true example of what a lucky dip can be like, because it's such random. I mean, it's, of course it's random, it's always random, but this combination of stuff, I would never choose to use watercolor and colored pencils. I'd use watercolor pencils, but waxy colored pencils with the watercolors is just not something I would try to do. Still some interesting things happen because of it. Okay. So, I used all the items and there's only a couple minutes left, so let's call that good. Here's the upside down version of the zoomed in face. So like you can see how waxy the colored pencils are because it's so shiny where they are. So I'll hold it at a bit of an angle. Okay, so let's turn it over and see what it looks like when it's the right way up. Oh, his cheek's a little bit big, but not bad for drawing it upside down. The dang reflectiveness. I feel like I'm getting better at upside down drawing. I love these eyes though. I use that rainbow colored pencil on it. It's so vibrant. I love that rainbow colored pencil. It's so cool. If you don't care what color you're using, it's such a fun tool. Oh, I'll let go of the page. Well, another lucky dip in the books. Yeah, and I do really like how the charcoal, come on, my camera won't focus. There we go. I love how the charcoal looks on top of this red paint. That's such a nice, it's so nice. Of course, red and black are my favorite colors, plus silver, so. Oh, thank you. That's very kind of you. Wolf says the eyes are great. Yay! That's my favorite part, so I'm glad you think so too. Yeah, man, I love this pencil. This pencil is so good. It's so fun. Okay. Okay, I'll calm down. Oh, it's perfect timing. So, I will be back in 2 days, Friday for me. For Chibi Friday, we'll be continuing work on that emote / emoji, custom emoji. So hopefully see you then. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching.